What is going on, guys? It's Ash here. Welcome back to another AshTech video. Now, sorry for not uploading the past 3 weeks. I've been waiting for a package to come. That package is an iMac, but unfortunately, the delivery was cancelled because it took way too long to come. It was expected to come, I bought it on the 11th of January, which is a Wednesday, and it said it would be at my house by the Friday of that week, but it didn't turn up because the eBay seller had to go to a family emergency. So it was the delivery was put on hold for 2 weeks, and today we've had some news that the delivery's been cancelled because it took way too long. But anyway, in this AshTech video, we are going to be covering Windows Vista. Now, Windows Vista support will be ending on April 11th, 2017. Now, its mainstream support ended sometime in 2012. I think it was May 2012. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was in 2012 the mainstream support ended for Windows Vista. Now, if you've been living under a rock and you haven't heard of Windows Vista before, then let me explain to you what it is. Now, basically, Windows Vista is an operating system released by Microsoft, and it was meant to be the successor to XP, which had grown to be a very popular operating system created by Microsoft. But within days of its release, horror stories flooded the internet with about Vista, saying that it was really unstable, literally nothing was compatible with it, and it was literally, from day one, it was literally a total flop. Now, it was released on January the 30th, 2007, and thankfully, shortly after, Windows 7 was released just a year and a half later, in 2009. But yeah, it was literally a total flop. Literally, the new interface that is on Windows 7, as well as Vista, which is called Aero. It was a new interface to Windows Vista, and that made it literally crash the system, and it literally, basically, long story short, it was a total flop by Microsoft. And in this video, I am going to be helping you, if you're still on Vista for whatever reason, then I could give you a few tips on how to upgrade, or where to upgrade and move away from Vista. So what you could do is upgrade to Windows 7, which is the next step above Vista, which I mentioned briefly a bit earlier. It's not a big change to Vista. It's got the same aero interface, and it's just a more stable operating system, and it's not too modern by any standards. It's still 8 years old, but it is definitely newer than Vista, and support ends for Windows 7 in 2020, I do believe. So you will get a few more years out of Windows 7 before that too becomes an end of support, like Windows Vista and Windows XP. So yeah, you could upgrade to Windows 7. That could be a viable option. But also, what you could do is you could buy a new computer entirely. Because if your computer's like from around maybe 2006, maybe, or older, then you might want to look into a new PC, because the newer operating systems, it probably won't be able to run like Windows 10 and Windows 8.1 and everything. So if you want to run like Windows 10, which is another viable option, then you will, you might want to look into a new PC for that, if your PC is 2006 or older, maybe. Or if your PC is like 2007 or newer, maybe, then you could look into like upgrading to Windows 7, 8.1 or 10, depending on which one you prefer. But yeah, those are a couple of options of which you could take if you're still running Vista. But if you still want to run Vista, you can, but there won't be any more security updates by Microsoft for Windows Vista after April 11th, 2017. So you won't be able to get any more security updates for your machine. So if you still want to keep on using Vista after April 11th, 2017, keep in mind that there'll be no more security updates, so you'll be more vulnerable to viruses and malware and stuff like that. So keep that in mind if you still want to keep on Vista after April 11th, 2017. But yeah, those are some viable options for when Windows Vista Support ends on April 11th, 2017. I will have the Microsoft Lifecycle fact sheet in the description down below, so you can learn more and everything. So, like, in a few years' time, like which operating system you decide to upgrade to, you'll know when it's time to move on from that and look at other operating systems, or an even newer operating system by Microsoft, if there is. But yeah, you could also actually, if you don't want to run a Microsoft operating system after April 11th, 2017, you could look into maybe Mac OS X, which is another viable option because it has a ton of great features, and the latest version, Mac OS Sierra, has some great features that you may need. Or Linux, although it doesn't exactly support many programs. But I guess you could find some programs made for Linux on the app stores, and there's many distros for Linux to choose from. There's absolutely loads. There's Ubuntu, Debian, BSD, all of those. But the problem with Linux, as I said, not everything is supported with it. So yeah, hopefully you do make up your mind if you're still on Windows Vista. But keep in mind, if you do want to stay on Windows Vista after April 11th, 2017, then you will be more vulnerable to viruses and malware and all that. So yeah, if you did enjoy this technology video, make sure to smash that like button. I shall see you next week with another technology video. Until then, goodbye guys!